entertainment and play in their work, which is a little bit difficult, right? Which is sometimes people. I have friends who are now parents usually ask me why my kids are so addicted to Facebook, etc. So we have to tell him that you have to understand that they want to incorporate their work and their play together.
Right, and definitely I want to be exploring a little bit more about the profile of the Gen Z character in the next part of the conversation. Of course, we need to go into the news right now, and we've been chatting in the living room with Dr. Bernard Leong, and he is the co-founder of Chalkboard as well as SG Entrepreneurs, telling us more about the latest social media trends and what parents need to know. Well, do keep it right here in the living room on 938 Live. We have more conversation for you in just a bit.
Experts take the couch. The Living Room on 938 Live.
Well, thank you for staying with me, Pamela Ho, and of course you're tuned to the Living Room on 938 Live. And of course our expert this morning is Dr. Bernard Leong, and he is a digital media guru as well as co-founder of Chalkboard and SG Entrepreneurs. And Bernard holds a PhD in physics from Cambridge University in the UK, and he will be one of the keynote speakers at the upcoming Parenting in the New Infocomm Age seminar, and that is held this Saturday. In fact, I'll be giving you more details in just a bit. Well, if you're a parent and you have a child that is born between 1994 and 2004, well, they make up what is called the Gen Z kid. And the Gen Z kid is pretty much different from us and different from the Gen X and the Gen Y. And how are they different? Well, we were just hearing from Bernard just a while ago, giving us a very brief rundown. He's picked 3 of the characteristics out of a list of 10, and already I'm identifying them with my 2 little boys at home. And he was mentioning something about their love to customize and to personalize things, as well as a freedom of expression. Also, these kids, well, there is a need for speed, and that's true. Everything has to be now. That is one of the characteristics of them as well. And they expect entertainment and play at their work when they are working as well. So lots of demands from these little Gen Z kids. Well, Bernard, anything to add before we go into how do we parent such kids?
I think the most important part is that the parents should probably learn what their kids are doing online, and as well as to have sort of awareness of what these new social digital media tools that are all about.
Right, and talking about the whole profile of these kinds of the Gen Z kids, I mean, what would you say parents need to be most paying attention to, so to say, when we parent them, especially in this digital age?
I think the most important bit is actually to sort of let them be aware of the type of the abuses of the technology itself, particularly themselves in giving away too much info, talking to strangers, or even become victims of cyberbullying themselves. I think one can actually think of from another direction where the parent can actually use the same digital media channel to communicate with the kid, given that they are spending most of their time in these channels.
Right. So there is a way to connect with them. There's an extra avenue, so to say. And I think that's definitely something that we want to explore in just a bit as well. But as you were mentioning just now, that this whole dark side, so to say, I mean, it is not just about sharing personal information anymore, and that is something that is a given, right? Because the whole updated and upgraded side of the dark side would involve things like live video streaming, for example. And what would be some advice that you would give to parents, especially of kids who are not really ready, to take the responsibility of holding that that phone or
Okay, I think there are 2 parts of this. The question can be broken down into 2 parts. First, let's say for parents who are beginners, okay. I think the easiest way for parents who don't have any awareness of these tools, they can actually look at what the IDA Singapore have provided. They can actually visit this site called www.infocomm123.sg, where it's actually created by IDA, and it contains very useful information for any parent who is new to the internet and would like to understand a little bit about this online social networking. There are 2 features in their website. One of them is the I Ask, I Answer, where a parent can actually ask certain questions about how to, maybe pertaining to usage and behavior, and then somebody from the portal will actually answer that. And second is actually the sort of starter kit, which most parents can actually use. Now then, the second part is
what starter kit is that?
The starter kit actually is actually given by the IDA, sort of for parents to sort of use it to follow instructions on how to set up accounts, how to use it as a communication channel, etc. Yeah. Then the second part of that, to answer the second, where the parents are more digital savvy, they probably will have to do a couple of things. First of all is that they try to communicate with their kids. I think the most important is actually to try to help their kids to know how to use privacy controls, to sort of not to give away all their data. That's one. And also sort of talk to them face to face where they may encounter and when they see them not very happy or something like that. I think sometimes actually talking face to face is still the best way to get to the kid. But I think that try not to infringe too much into what the kid is doing on the social network. Just observe. And actually I have, just to be telling you a personal anecdote, one of my aunts actually used Facebook to look at what her kids are doing, and she actually rarely sort of intervenes.
Right.
And she's trying to get a sense of what they actually, and she actually took a lot of effort to sign on to Facebook. Yeah.
Right, okay. But it's amazing that the kids are allowing her to accept her as a friend in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of kids don't want to accept, their parents or, adults as part of their friends. So in that case, I mean, are there ways around that though?
The actual answer is no, because they have to be connected in order to look at their activity feeds. I think the other thing that parents need to really take note of is that sometimes I think to let the kid to be aware of what they're doing with these tools are actually critically important. Like for example, we talk about the example of Quick, right? You imagine using the Quick video to video something that is not socially acceptable. How would a parent can come in to help, right? They can do it in two steps. First, they can email straight to Quick to remove the video. Although it's usually that action can actually, most likely 99.9999% that most of the videos, they're always left one, but I think things will die down and subsequently they can move on with their lives, because people's memory lifespan on these things are actually getting shorter and shorter.
Right. But when we talk about Quick, for example, let's say it's uploaded and it's live and activity is going on, is that kind of documented or podcast? Can people find it again?
Yes, it's actually documented on the site itself with the video number, and so if you delete that video, it's automatically deleted from the server itself.
Anybody can delete it, or it has to be?
It has to be the user who does it. So there's the other trouble where what if a friend deletes uploaded it? Then the question is actually to get the friend to remove it, which is that is technologically very difficult to do at the moment. So I think a lot of it, with what parents should learn to do is actually just to worry about the response. I think the first most logical response is to email the platform. They will take some time to respond, so to try to get all these videos removed first. If they're of obscene, or there are something like pertaining to race and religion matters.
Yeah, that's right. I guess we don't want to come to that stage, because there's almost it's already like firefighting. Of course, I think nothing beats connecting with your children and knowing what they're up to and building that kind of relationship with them. But it also as we were mentioned briefly earlier, that social networking online can be an extra avenue or tool where parents can use to connect with the Gen Z kids. Now tell us a little bit about how we can best use this social media to our advantage as parents.
I think how to use it general as advantage. I think I will use a analogous example. Think of the Wii gaming console, where it was actually designed for kids to play with their older parents with a sort of physical hand gesture motions, and it's something like a family game. So the same thing can actually be done on a social network. Parents may be able to just try to use the events to organize events for the family using Facebook. I think because the kids know how to use it, so they know when to meet their parents. They can also they can also play simple social games, because kids nowadays don't like long games. They like casual games where they can enjoy with their parents, and possibly send private messages to communicate with the kid more, not necessarily be status messages as well. So there are actually a lot of channels that actually people can actually use these things to work with the kid, and also that you can also be friends with your kids' friends, right? So that's also the other possibility. Of course, that's also subjective whether the other friends' kids will want to accept your request.
Yeah, and it depends on how nice you are to your friends' kids as well.
Yeah,
they come
correct,
over for cookies and brownies, and then they might just kind of
correct. So I think that type. And also it makes it easier, because if the kid is actually experiencing any form of cyberbullying, sometimes it's actually through the friends that the parents can actually get more. There are actually many ways to communicate that through.
Yeah.
So you just have to tap on these communication channels.
That's right. And now, of course, we are finding out more about the